Here.
Kelly.
Here.
McKinley. Castlery.
Yes.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The council needs to choose a presiding officer to serve for this meeting.
I'll put my name out there.
So Alderman Tesori will be the presiding officer for this meeting. So the next step will be the proclamations. Or public comments.
Public comments?
Oh.
Do we have public comments tonight?
Yes.
Joe Reynolds?
I live on 509 South Maple Street, and they started work on our sewer last year, and I was just wondering what the deal is, why we haven't started that. I know Aaron was down and looked at a house down there on Water Street, and did you drive down Maple to see the mess that we have down there that hasn't been fixed? Nobody's been down there. The road, we had a garbage truck that got fell alongside the road last year. I was just wondering what the holdup is and what you're going to do about it and when. Plus, I don't have any water pressure. I haven't since they got down by our house. Calvin noticed that my house, Jackie Davidson, and the house in the corner where Brian Maxwell used to live were all three on one line, and he told me that he would come in and get us all our own lines. They don't even know where my water shutoff is, number one. Number two, nobody's been back to check that, and when Jackie flushes her toilet, I have no water pressure, period. So I'm getting a little tired of that too.
Yeah.
Is that something you were going to follow up on? Is that
Yes.
prior to the meeting?
Well, I talked to Calvin. I also talked to her. We're going to follow up with Calvin and Fred. He says they have 2/3 of it done. They have the materials. They just need to schedule it and get it done. So I'll definitely get with them and we'll get on a schedule. He said, you know, once they get going at it, it could be about 6 to 8 weeks total.
Did they say when they could get started or no idea?
No, but we'll get them started.
Okay.
You know, as soon as possible. I'd say within the next week or two at the outset.
We like to
Now,
have
the water pressure, you know, maybe that's something
Somewhat.
to just
Rock.
away.
Yeah.
I mean, they did bring me some, but it's now again starting to cave, and
Right.
you can't. You know, it's bad enough driving one vehicle, let alone when there's two people coming. If you try to get over, your whole car falls in the side of the road.
Right.
And I really don't want that happening to me, and I don't think anybody else does either.
Now that it's possible, we should expedite that. Thank you, Ms. Reynolds. Renee, you have the next comment?
Yeah, I came back today to find out what the status of our request to have the water turned on at the BMX track is. It's been, I think, about a month since I brought it up. So I just wanted to kind of check back in and see.
We received a couple of bids from plumbers, but we're waiting on, I think, one more, and also getting the cost on the backflow preventer cross-connection issue. And I need to talk to you to see if you're willing, one, to share the cost in that, and two, share the, you know, pay for the water.
Okay, we have, well, I have said on more than one occasion that we are willing to pay for the water. We don't use that much. Which I explained before. We did put flow meters on the hoses to find out how much we used, and it was less than 500 gallons on one weekend, and that's after 2 weeks of no rain. When you say that you've gotten estimates from plumber, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, I can talk to you about it, but what it is when you, maybe Will would be better at explaining this, but you don't want backflow coming into the good water supply, so you have to have what's called a backflow preventer.
If you're going to take it from the creek, take it from the creek, as you said, you want to use both. If you want to do that, there has to be a backflow preventer.
Wait a minute, let me go back a minute, because what I had said originally is that currently we use the water from the creek. We have a pump that we use for that. The reason we want the water turned on is the event, well, for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's something that was supposed to be hooked up 30 years ago. Number two, the access to the city water is only to be used as a backup in the event that the creek is too low. The creek is getting lower, and I cannot afford.
Okay, I understand what you're saying, but if we're going to do, we're having where they're both going to be used at once.
No.
Okay,
That is
not the same, not the same time. But if you're going to have them hooked in together, you have to have this backflow preventer in there, because you can't put the creek water, take a chance and come into the city's water supply.
I understand that. I'm just trying to find out
But if you want to
because
separate it out and just you have the city alone and you're alone with the creek, then there's no problem with that. You can sit there and probably get that figured out a lot simpler.
so
Putting this backflow preventer is what's causing the hitch, because they have to be inspected every year. It's a little costly.
Has to be installed by a plumber.
Has to be installed by a plumber, has to be inspected.
It's about $110 to get them certified every year.
Yeah, so it has to be checked out.
okay, when
If you do them separately, is that still usable? Can you do the water, the creek water standalone by itself, and the city water standalone by itself, so they're not in the same line?
we would use one or the other.
But you can't have them into the same line, that's the problem.
I'm aware of that. I'm understanding all this.
Okay.
Okay, what I'm saying is that, you know, if we have to have this flow preventer, check valve, whatever you want to call it, if it has to be in there, I understand the reasons behind that. This is the first I've heard of this, basically.
Until about 2 weeks ago, it's probably the first we heard of it too. So it's something, if you want to sit there and have independent on each one of them, then there's no problem there.
If what now?
You want to do independent, but one's not tied into the other, that's fine. You can do that.
So the inlet from down by the creek, that's plugged shut all the time. So if we just use city water all the time, that's one thing. If we use the creek water all the time, that's another thing. Okay, so I'm just trying to figure out where I have to go here, as far as if you're saying that the BMX track has to pay for all this stuff, I'm not so sure I'm good with that.
Let me ask you this, Renee.
No, I know.
So, I think what we're getting after is your current setup operates all the PVC pipe throughout there, and then we have hoses connected to that.
Correct.
So if you're wanting to use city water, are you still wanting to use all the hose setup that you currently have?
We would probably have to.
Then it's going to have the backflow.
Okay, and that's fine.
Okay,
That's fine.
that was my question, is I didn't know if, because there's already a hydrant out there, I didn't know if you were just going to run separate hoses from that, and then...
No, that's being used quite frequently by someone else.
Okay.
Well, and I'm not suggesting that you're to pay for it. I'm saying we want to get the prices.
I don't have a problem.
And then saying that we share it. My recommendation would be that it's like a third. It's you, it's the city, and potentially the school district, or whoever's watering the soccer fields. But that's a whole nother conversation
Right.
that I want to know what it costs first.
Okay, and that's
He's
fine.
in the process of getting those prices right now.
Okay. So if you would like to talk to me one-on-one sometime, let me know.
Yeah, I actually just asked Sandy for your number today, actually.
Well, I'm actually going to be at the BMX track all week, so I will be in town. If you want to get hold of me, I'm going to be around. So. All right, well, thank you for the update.
Thank you. Do we have any proclamations, presentations, or recognitions? No. So next is on the consent agenda. Need a motion?
So moved to approve.
Second.
Is there any discussion on consent agenda? Paulette?
Coffee?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
McKinley?
Yes.
Jessroy?
Yes. I believe there's no unfinished business, so that brings us to the new business.
Make a motion to approve the Section 3 new business ordinance resolutions for initial consideration. Number 1, Resolution 2017-32, appointing and acting mayor to fill the remainder of the term.
Need a second?
I'll Second.
See, where do we go from here? Throw our names out.
Yeah, you need someone needs to nominate. And then you'd have to have a second and then a vote.
We can nominate ourselves.
Yes.
And I will nominate myself first.
You need a second.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
If there's no discussion, clerk will call the roll.
Just call it.
Kelly,
Yes.
McKinley,
No.
Tessroy,
Yes.
Coffee,
No.
Okay, motion fails.
At the end of the motion, we do it again.
Someone can nominate someone else, or, because otherwise, if we don't have an active grant, then the meeting's over.
I'll nominate myself.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I'll discuss it a little bit. I think since I've been here before as the mayor, it's been a while, but it doesn't make any difference. I have a background in this. I've been on the council since my third time as an alderman. There's been a lot of things that's happened during my tenure as being in the city, involved in this, in the city government over the years. One thing is just the professional management end of it. I was very, very strongly involved in getting the professional management set up in Farmer City. It was in the administrator form in the beginning, but then it later on went to the managerial form. But I was very strong in doing that. 200 acres of ground was annexed into the city. 200 acres of ground wasn't annexed to the city. There had been no TIF district. TIF district is another thing that was created during my time being here. Electrical rebuilds, a lot of those done during that time because they were things that need to be done since the storm in '68 had not been taken. Things have been taken care of properly, and so we did a lot of electrical rebuilds at that time. Streetscape down here on Main Street was finished at that time. Can't think of anything else. There's been quite a bit. I would say that during that 4 years, might be a little boastful, but anybody who was around at that time, it was probably one of the most productive 4 years of city council work with one of the most tumultuous councils to deal with at the time, the first 2 years. But things did get done. And that was 200 acres did get annexed during that time, and a TIF district was created during that first 2 years. And those things have all been beneficial to the community overall. Remington Seed wasn't Remington Seed then when it came in, but that was something that came into town at that time. I just feel I have the background to work with Sue and to move forward in the community. That's what I want to do.
I have a question. Are you willing to give up your seat?
Nope.
Okay. That's the same question for you, and I forgot. So.
Yes, I would be willing to give up my seat, but that's past now.
I'm not going to get caught in it. I know what you want to do, and I'm not going to do that. If I want to run for mayor in 2 years, I'm not going to, and I get beat, then I'm going to stay here. I'm not going to get bumped out of this thing. That's all you want me to do is to give it up so I can get bumped out so you get rid of me.
I think
that is the story, Scott. I know what you want to do. I can see it at the last meeting.
Well, I think is that discussion over with?
Yeah, I'm through.
All right, call it.
McKinley,
Yes.
Tessroy,
No.
Coffee,
Yes.
Kelly,
No.
Bill.
Well, that ends tonight's meeting. We can schedule another one and put this under unfinished business and see if, also just FYI, you can go into executive session to discuss the filling of an appointment or filling a public office because you are responsible for filling that position. So you can do that if you would like that scheduled for next Monday.
I would not recommend executive session for this.
That's fine, I'm just,
I want to keep it in the open.
It's fine with me, doesn't bother me. It'll be a dog fight. I'll just tell you that right now. That's what you want.
All right.
You know what you did.
Are we gonna motion to end it, or do we just end?
yeah, you can, just make a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Hazelworth,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes?
Kelly,
Yes.
McKinley,
Yes.
motion carried.